So here we are, episode 4 deep. I'm having a lot of fun doing these videos. I love going back and revisiting old movies. I love trying new beers. I love trying to see what works, what doesn't, what goes well with what, and helping people discover maybe a new beer they wouldn't have tried before, or maybe go out and see a movie that they might not have watched before. So, in this episode, I've got this beer here. It's a milkshake IPA. So it's going to be an IPA. It's going to be bitter, but it's going to be made with lactose. There's lactose, mango, and vanilla in this beer. So this is one of, if not my favorite beers. It's close, top 3 for sure. I discovered it about a couple of years ago at the Brasserie du Bas Canada, which is a brewery 25 minutes from my place right now. So local, excellently crafted beers. I first tried this one at a beer festival, and I fell in love with it ever since. They have 2 different kinds. They have the mango vanilla and they have the coconut vanilla. So the coconut one, I like it a little bit more, but that one comes out, they alternate, and that season's coming up for the summer, so the coconut one's going to be available shortly. This is called Los Tabernacos. The design of this can is beautiful. It's white, pink, you got all kinds of very artsy-fartsy stuff on there. So, Milkshake IPA, it is a 6.5 ABV alcohol by volume, so it does pack a punch. It's not something you can have 4, 5, 6 of. I can, because I love this beer, but if, be warned, if you do, it's somewhat of a strong beer. So we're going to open this. Oh, I love this beer so much. There's actually a lot of movies that go well with this beer because it's universal, and it's got so many different flavors and such a smooth texture, and it just looks beautiful that it can go well with any movie, really. So I really had to refine my searches, and I figured it out. So I'm just gonna give you a little bit of a rundown of the beer. Oh, so I can smell it from a mile away. Oh, wow. So you do get that mango, you get orange peel, sweet vanilla. Oh yeah. Just looking at it, it's got this cloudy, milky, light orange, yellow, canary yellow. Oh, I love this beer. It assaults you with tons of delicious flavors. You get sweet vanilla. You get pineapple. You get a creamy sugar cane. It's not a thick beer, but because of that lactose in there, it's so rich and so creamy that it has this full-bodied heaviness to it. So this is really a beer you have to enjoy, and you can't just be like, hey, let's crack 3 or 4 of these open and chug them. No, you really enjoy it. It's heavy. It is a 6.5 ABV, so at the end of all those at the end of that roller coaster of flavors, you do get this light bitterness at the back of the throat, and you do get that kind of warmth that the alcohol gives you. But it's so minute, and compared to the this tsunami of flavors, it's really an adventurous beer. You go through all these different tastes, and you can really pick out different flavors and smells, and it just really hits you as this, whoa, this is a well-crafted beer. A lot of time and love went into it, and you're going on this adventure with all these flavors. And that was what really made me think of this movie when I had this beer, was adventurous. Now, that movie is As Above, So Below. I remember a while ago, 4 or 5 years ago, seeing the trailer for this movie in theaters. I went to go see a movie, I forget what it was, and I saw the trailer for this, and then after I saw the trailer for that movie, As Above, So Below, I had not heard anything about it. I didn't go to see it. I just totally fell off the radar. I don't know what happened. Skull water. I forgot about my skull water. Big crane. Get those gases down. So, totally off the radar. And then maybe a year and a half, 2 years after that, I was shopping around and I saw this Blu-ray. So I picked it up. I said, hey, this reminds me of something. I couldn't put my finger on it. I looked at the back. I said, the plot seems like something I might have seen before. I watched it and then I go, I remember seeing the trailer for this. It stars Ben Feldman, who most of you might know as Jonah, I believe his name is Jonah or Jonas from Superstore, the main character guy who falls in love with Amy. He kind of had a resurgence, or the whole cast kind of did, because Superstore was put on Netflix recently, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. So Superstore is every now and then in the top 10 on Netflix. Very enjoyable show, but it stars him in a totally different role. I remember watching Superstore on Netflix and going, wow, that's the guy from As Above, So Below. It's weird seeing him so naturally in this comedic performance, because he knocks it out of the park in this movie. So a rundown of the movie is, without giving too much away, this lady is trying to solve some sort of mystery that her father is trying to figure out, and he wasn't able to do it in his lifetime, so she takes over, and she's so fixated on figuring this out. And then she finds that she has to go to Paris, France, in the catacombs where all those skulls are and all those bodies under France, which is true. There is actually catacombs with all these skeletons, and because they used to bury their dead underneath the city. So she recruits these people to help her. She recruits somebody to film. It is shot in the style of, a lot of people might not like this, as like kind of like VHS and the film, not an actual VHS, and Blair Witch Project, you know, like Cloverfield as well, like handheld camera style. They wear these GoPros and they go spelunking, because this movie, by the way, if you're claustrophobic or you get anxiety with tight spaces, this is gonna really make you unsettled. If you do have problems with claustrophobia, I suggest watching this movie maybe with somebody else, or maybe just keep that in mind going into this film. So she recruits this documentary filmmaker to record everything, and then she recruits her friend Ben Feldman, who was reluctant at first. He goes, I'm not helping you, but finally he does, because he knows she's very crazy, and she goes on all these adventures, and she often gets him into trouble as well. And then when they get to France, they get some native people from France to help them navigate the catacombs, because they can't do it on their own, and they have maps and stuff, but they'd rather have some people who are she goes to meet this guy named Papillon, which is butterfly in French, who often goes in the catacombs. So she goes, I'll use him, he'll be my tour guide kind of thing. So they go in, and this is my favorite take me on a ride film. Sometimes you watch a movie for first act, second act, third act, beginning, middle, end, that's it, sandwich. You take the movie for what it is. Some people like to go on these grandiose adventures, big epics, a la Lord of the Rings. This movie is my favorite adventure movie. You watch it, and especially the first time you watch it, if you go into this movie blind, it is amazing. So, spoiler alert, if you want to go into this movie blind, because it is an adventure movie, and the more you go, the more you discover, and it's really awesome. But there is also some really terrifying shit in this movie. So, spoiler alert, from now on, I'm not going to give too much away, but I will talk about it. So if you don't want to know anything about the movie, stop now and watch it. Pair it with this beer. You're going to have a great time. They go well together. So anyways, they go into the catacombs, and then the more they go, you really get this Dante's Inferno, biblical hell type vibe. The more they go in the catacombs, they're backtracking and they say, well, where's the door we came in from? And then they turn around and it's just a wall. And then they start getting creeped out. And then the more it goes, there's like these people like singing in the catacombs, like, ah, and they're looking at them as they walk by. And they're shitting themselves, but Papillon, the guy, the tour guide who goes, there's like these occultists who live down here. And they come down here from time to time and they pray to the dead or whatever. Don't worry about them. They're not going to harm you. And then the more you go, the more like, because it is filmed in that handheld type GoPro, they all have these GoPros strapped to their head and they're trying to, you know, they can't find their way out at some point. So they're stuck down there and they're trying to find their way out. And the only way out is down somehow. Because I don't want to give too much away. And then she's looking for this treasure, and then finally they have, oh, that's why everybody agrees to do it, because, you know, treasure, who fuck, everybody can get a piece of the pie, you know. But the more they go into the catacombs, the more there's some really weird shit, and it's one of those movies too where you're watching it, and because it's filmed with those GoPros, they'll turn around and you go, oh, did you see that? There was something behind them. And you really got to pay attention because it cuts from this person's perspective, because they all have one, and then you look and they're talking. And then one guy gets stuck in the catacombs, and then the other lady who turns back to help him, you see something coming at him from the back. It's really claustrophobic. There's a lot of, not subliminal, because you see it, you know, like those, oh, if you blink, you miss it moments where there's things in the background or really crazy shit. And this movie is so powerful and so... You're on this ride with these characters and you love it and you're going, oh my God, I want them to get out. You really get attached to the characters. It's not like in a traditional horror movie where they're just fodder. You want to see them get killed. You want to see them. You're rooting for everybody. You want everybody to make it out of here. So there's these it's very thematic, and there's a lot of hell imagery, and then some of them do start dying off in these really crazy ways, and then the more it goes, the more they're entering like the gates of hell. So they're going literally into hell, and then the deeper they go, the more it's not just like, oh, you see that behind them? No, it's in your face. There's this really sick, gruesome stuff happening, and you're like, what is going on? And the more, the deeper they get, the more supernatural it becomes, because they're going more into hell. So I don't want to give the ending away. I don't want to tell more, but the actors give an amazing performance. And that's why these two beers go well together. You're on this journey with these characters, and this beer really, you know, during the beginning when she's recruiting, and it seems almost like an Indiana Jones movie, you sip this beer and you get that sweet, flavorful fun. And the more it goes and the more dark it becomes, the more the bitterness gets the back of your tongue, because you're taking more and more sips. The more the sips become more bitter, the more the characters become more anxious and stressed, and the more evil that they encounter, the more heavy the beer becomes. At 6.5, it really hits you. You get that impact. They go extremely well together. This movie does go, this beer goes well with a lot of movies, but I find that these two share that adventurous longevity. Like the beer, you're not going to finish it within the first 10 minutes of the movie. You're gonna make it last. Maybe if you have two of them, they'll last the whole film. And the more this journey, these characters evolve, well, this beer evolves with you on the palate as well. So that's basically it. This is my second video today, so the beers are kind of hitting me. I love it. I love it. Thank you again for your support and watching. I'd appreciate if you subscribe. I mentioned in my other video that in episode 3 that at 100 subscribers I will be doing a giveaway of a sealed copy of a movie. Not sure which movie yet. I'll figure out how I'm going to give it away as well when the time comes. Again, I am having a great time doing this. I'm having so much fun. I get excited. Oh, I'm going to do one of my videos. I love doing this. I love sharing these beers and these movies with you guys. If you've seen them, it's great. You can maybe, you know, oh, it's true what he's talking about, or maybe you can go back and revisit the movie with a new flavor, literally in your mouth. Well, if you haven't seen the movies, hey, great. You can explore new things. You can try new things, and that's what this channel is about. Bringing something new to you guys, and hopefully you guys can enjoy it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a horrific, I was gonna say horrific weekend, but you know, I meant like horror weekend. I don't want you guys to have any fucking horrific shit happen to you, but you know, enjoy a beer, watch a movie, everything's gonna be fine. Thanks again for watching.